Hi, everybody. My name is Adam Cohn. I'm the Vice President of Broadcasting here at NCMA Boston and also the Vice President of Marketing as well. I got to get used to the new title, but
Yes.
this is yet another Meet the Speaker interview for our Artificial Intelligence in Contracting Conference. Today, I'm joined by Shanae Commodore. She is a CPCM and a fellow. She is just all sorts of super smart. She is by far one of my favorite speakers to go and talk to. So Shanae did a webinar for us back in May of 2024. I asked her to come back for this AI conference. Took a little coaxing. No, I'm kidding. She was happy to come back. So if you've listened to Shanae before, you know exactly what you're getting here. So Shanae, welcome back. And I am so excited to be chatting with you again.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back. Nice to work with you as always.
Likewise. All right. So let's get into things. Maybe people haven't seen your Meet the Speaker interview back several months ago as we're recording this in October of 24. You did a webinar for us back in May of 24. So tell people that weren't part of that webinar, just tell us a little about yourself.
All right. So government contracting is all I've done. I started out on the government side as an auditing intern, which I think gave me a really good foundation on understanding the importance of pricing and regulations in government contracting. Very helpful. And then after that, I've spent some time as a regional contract administrator for TRICARE. So it gave me some knowledge in terms of healthcare and technology, which I really appreciate. And then from there, some time with CDC, auditing grants and grant management. And then here in Atlanta, where I live now, with local and state government. So I've been on both sides as a practitioner, creating the requirements, reviewing the pricing and making the source selection decision. And then now on the other side as a government contractor myself, fulfilling training needs for the agencies, as well as providing acquisition support. And I am so very excited about the topic I have regarding pricing and analysis, because it's one that a lot of people want to understand, but for some reason there's some intimidation with it. So my goal is to shed some light on that and some helpful tools so that people feel more comfortable engaging in that conversation, even if that's not their key responsibility. It's so important. Everyone, all the stakeholders always have something important to add so that we have a better understanding of, do we have a reasonable price?
Absolutely. And I kind of buried the lead here. So Shanae is presenting on how to use AI to create pricing and pricing analysis for winning government proposals. And it is a very exciting topic, one I am excited to listen to. Shanae knows this. Mm-hmm. And we are doing a little something unique for this one now that we have your attention. This session is going to be a workshop session. It is the only workshop session that we are going to have throughout this entire conference. Now, it is a half-day conference, as you all know. You've seen it. You're hanging out. You're going to be seeing all the stuff on the NCMA Boston website. But this is going to be a little unique. Shanae is going to go over this topic. Again, how to use AI to create pricing and pricing analysis for winning government proposals. So we're going to have a full lecture session. And then we're going to get into the workshop piece of this, where Shanae is going to go over and give all of our attendees in that session. We have a max of 30. 30 people are going to be allowed into this workshop session. So it will fill up fast. Make sure you sign on early and get your spot. But we're going to go over some very real life examples. And if you all out there are having something like this and like, you know what, I really could use some AI to help with this. I was telling Shanae, I came from the subcontracts field. That's what got me into this. I started off as a subcontract administrator, one of the largest defense government contractors on the planet. I spent hours upon hours and days upon days doing pricing analysis, making sure stuff is right, going back over and having it peer reviewed, making sure a manager reviews it, and then back and forth and back and forth. Oh, now this budget's wrong. And I'm excited to hear if AI can help not only the administrator out, but if there's something that we can give feedback to our contracts and subcontracts counterparts on the other side to help make their lives easier. I'm super excited. So Shanae, what got you into your field? You mentioned getting involved in the auditing field early. Just kind of what got you into your field?
So really simple. I had to get a job in the summer. And I've always been what they call a nerd, which I don't mind that now. This kind of cool. And I didn't want to work in a restaurant. I didn't think I'd be very
I
good at.
did.
I didn't
That
think
was
I'd
my
be very
first
good
job.
there. So I in high school, I don't remember which teacher told me about it, but there was a high school summer intern program in Dayton. That's where Desi used to be. Now they're in out of Columbus, Ohio. But so I got a internship during high school with the Desi office there in Dayton, Ohio, and I learned about auditing. I got to see firsthand how these auditors were actually going out in the field and reviewing these companies with these government contracts. So it's very interesting to me because, you know, before then I was like, oh, they're just a bunch of number counters and all that. But because of that, I got to see that in addition to reviewing the numbers, they were also looking at policies and systems and the consistency of having proper accounting methods and so forth. So that part was really great. So I learned two things. One, I learned I didn't want to count as much, but on the other hand, I was definitely still very much interested in the analysis part of that and how the company data played a role in helping justify the choices that they made, whether it came to the business practices or the pricing. And then that carried on and became increasingly important in my role as a regional contract administrator and as a government buyer, because it allowed me to better understand what kind of data I should be looking at so that I could make a realistic assessment of, is this price realistic? Right? Where is this information coming from? And, oh, by the way, are there other things I should be considering in my pricing decisions?
Yep. I like it. All right. So speaking
Yeah.
specifically about this session, I've
Mm-hmm.
kind of given the overview of what kind of people could expect because what you're doing for us in this event is going to be extremely unique. So, two questions, and they kind of tie into each other. What
Okay.
interests you specifically about this topic you're presenting on? And again, tying that in, what can people expect to learn during the session?
What interests me specifically is tying into the data. That's the whole importance of market research, right? And business acumen is using the data to analyze what is happening in the marketplace. What are some marketing trends or technology changes I need to be concerned about? How does that tie into the regulations in which I'm allowed to operate and bid, as well as make the government making those bid decisions, right? And then putting that together in a useful manner to help create the pricing that we're going to use, right? So it's one thing to have access to the data. It's another thing to be able to identify the type of data that we should use or consider so that we can make sure that not only do we understand the real problem, but we understand all the factors we need to consider in creating a price for that. And then the other side of that I'm really excited about. So for the workshop portion in the class is I've created some scenarios from real life experience. And you have enough time that when you register, if you want me to try out a scenario that you have, I'm happy to do that too. But
Love it.
I've created some scenarios where we're going to practice and engage in our different teams how we would evaluate and create some pricing data based off of that particular scenario. So I'm excited. We're going to go out, we're going to use some AI tools and show how you put together the scenario and protecting your data so that we maintain some confidentiality there. And then how you would go about conducting the research and gathering the information from the different AI tools. And then how you then, the next step would be using those tools to analyze the data sets and give us some readout and some analysis on, you know, what we need to consider to make the best decision or why one choice might be better than the next. And then using that to create a price to win decision strategy that you might implement. So I'm really excited to see that because the more minds that we have creating input, then the better the strategy and the decision is going to be. We need a diverse set of thought to do that. And I'm excited because this is an opportunity for someone, whether they're technical or program management or contracts and procurement, to really come together with all of those unique experiences and understanding and create a true strategy. So I'm excited to see that. And I think it will make people also understand the benefit of working with those different stakeholders that have those different skills so that we make better decisions in a more efficient manner.
I agree with you. And, Shanae and I were talking before we hit the record button here, all the different things. Like when I hear just the end of that title of the session, winning government proposals, my mind immediately went to PWin. Now, when I was an
Mhm.
administrator, I didn't care about PWin. I care about making sure that stuff is fully compliant, that
Right.
stuff looked good, that I didn't have to go back to my project managers and some of my program managers and say, hey, you know, their travel's $20,000 over what's
Mhm.
justified. Why the heck are they spending so much more money? Oh, they're
Right.
going to do this. Okay, great. I can't justify it. And I got to then bend ways to do it. And you could, I remember spending sometimes hours on just the travel piece alone, trying to
Right.
justify their travel. And heck, if we had AI back in the day that actually we could use it, wouldn't have been that much. Like we can get more done more effectively, more efficiently, and then we can help out our technical folks. We can
Right.
help them secure more business, which in turn is good for the company, which in turn is good for you. Let's
Mhm.
continue to be the groundbreakers for our companies and bring back
Yes.
some of this amazing technology to our companies and,
Yes.
learn how to embrace it. So, Shanae, anything
Definitely.
else you want to share before people come to this event?
No, just hey, there is no required pre-work or level of understanding because I always give a brief explanation of this is what it is, this is how we're going to use it, and we dive in.
Yep.
AI to me, I know there are, of course, governance and data rules, but think of it as learning a foreign language. You just do it, right? You
Good way of
understand the
looking at it.
rules and you start out in all these different things, and then it's one of those things, the more you use it and dive in, the more fluent that you're going to become. So we have to at least practice
Yep.
using these tools. And that's what this workshop is going to give you the opportunity to do, is practice using the tools so that you can get comfortable. Because the best success with AI, I tell everyone with all the tools, is being able to ask questions. How do you create the prompts, which are the instructions that tells the tool what you're trying to find out, right?
I love
So
it. All right,
that's
Shanae. Well, thank you so much as
thank
always.
you.
I'm looking forward to the event. It's on November 20th, 2024. We have a breakfast networking from about 8:30 till about 9 p.m. The sessions start at 9. Shanae's session starts at 9. If you want to get to Shanae's session, log in early. Make sure you get your space in the room because her session is limited to the first 30 people. And we will have a volunteer. We're working with our partners to uncork it to make sure the workshop session is set for 30. We want to be very respectful of Shanae. And again, if this doesn't apply to you, it's no big deal. We have tons of other great sessions, but I'm super excited about this session.
I
So
am
for
very
more,
excited as well. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. More information at ncmaboston.org, and we'll see you at the event.
Thank you. Bye. I hope to